Hello guys and welcome to this DevOps session series. And now today we are going to see how we can move our images to the Docker Hub. This is the central repository where we keep keeping all the images, the latest images, whatever we did. So in Ansible, we keep on building the images, the new images for every commit, and we are going to move it to the Docker Hub instead of keeping it locally. So welcome to this sessions. DevOps for the DevOps related stuffs, we have three server currently: the Docker server, Ansible server, and the Jenkins server. And this is the dashboard of the Jenkins, where we have two jobs. Okay, so mainly we are concerned with this particular job. So in these sessions, we are not going to do any stuff related with the Jenkins job. We are not going to modify it, but we are going to do the things in a manual way, like creating the image again and pushing that images. First, we are going to tag it with our account because we have the Docker Hub also. So I am going to give a details on that as well. And then we are going to move that particular image to the Docker Hub. And when we execute an Ansible playbook, that is for the deployment, not on the local host. Okay, previously we did it in the local host, but our purpose is to move that particular container or build that particular container into the remote host, the target machine, that is the Docker server. So that may be a one server, but if you talk about the real environment in the organizations you are working, so Ansible will target to the several Docker servers to do the deployment at the same time. Okay, so Ansible is very good at the CT part. I already mentioned that stuff, that it will help to do the deployment on multiple Docker server at the same time. So you can see that in the for the demo purpose, we have only one target. This is the Docker server. Okay, currently we are doing all the stuff into the local host in the Ansible server itself. And for this session, I am going to build or the container or push the image from the Ansible server itself, so that you have a better clarity that what we are going to perform. So let's have a look into this particular diagram. Let me zoom it for better clarity. Okay, so whenever the user push a code, any changes on daily basis, developer keep on pushing the changes to the GitHub. Okay, and then we have the Jenkins, which listening for any of the commit, and it will move the artifacts to the Ansible, where we have the Docker file. So this is the Ansible machine, and if you do a ls, so you can see that we have a playbook. Okay, if you didn't refer my previous video, then this particular video is not beneficial for you guys. So please watch it in a systematic order, in a serial order, to have a better understanding. So we have a Docker file also, and we have the host also. If you cat this particular host file, you can see that currently I'm targeting all the things into the local system. We are not targeting for the Docker. We will do it when we test all the things doing manually into this particular machine itself, so that we can be very clear that all the things are working fine. Then we will target into the Docker. Okay, and we have the connectivity established between the Ansible and a Docker by ANS admin. This is the user that we have at the Docker end also and at the Ansible end also, and we are using this particular user to do all the stuff. So you can check it as well, writing this command Ansible all am ping. So this command will establish or give you a message of success. Okay, so you can see that this is the particular IP of the Docker. Okay, this is the Docker. This is the public IP. If you look into the private IP, you can just need to go to the Docker machine. Okay, and write here the IP ADDR. So you can find here 4787. Okay, this is the 4787, and here you have the 4787. Okay, so this is the just to check that either we have a proper connectivity between the Ansible server with the Docker server. If you have any problem with this particular command, then you have to look into it, because this connectivity is required, and we are doing all the stuff by using one user, ANS admin, and this user will be the part of the Ansible server also, at the Docker server also, and this user will be fall into the Docker user group also. That is the very important things. Okay, so in this particular sessions we are going to build an image, we are going to tag that image, and then we are going to push it into the uh, Docker Hub. Okay, so this is our particular diagram. Okay, so when we have the Ansible picture and when we tag it, we are going to push it into the Docker Hub. And in the other video, the next session, what we are going to do, we are going to write an Ansible playbook, the new one, and also going to modify the previous one, so that when the deployment, when we create a container into the host machine, the target machine uses the Docker server. In my case, we have only one, but in the real world, we have multiples. Okay, so it will pull all the images from the Docker Hub, so we are not keeping any images locally. So this is our main agenda for further sessions. We are building the image locally. Now we pushed it. When we pushed it, we will going to remove that particular image from the local. And before pushing it to the Docker Hub, we will going to tag it, so that we can just tag it by the account prefix. Okay. So this is my Docker Hub account, Java with you. Okay, this is my account name, and we don't have any repository. You can see that we can create a repository by public and private. Mainly in the real world, in the organizations you are working, you are going to use the private one, but this is for only for the demo. That's why there is no harm if we put it our repository to public access, because we are not keeping any sensitive informations, and this is for the demonstration purpose. So avoiding all this the difficulties, like we have to provide all times the user ID and password, all the credentials, we are putting it into public. We will going to create a public repository, but we are not going to create it right now. When we push it, it automatically get created. So now we are going to look into the connectivity, and it's fine. Okay, so now all the scenarios what we are going to cover is now clear. Okay, so if you don't have the Docker Hub account, you can go to the hub.docker and you can create it by passing your email ID and what is your will be the account number. Okay, so now I'm moving to the Ansible. This is the Ansible only. So let's clear the screen. Okay, I'm going to see the whatever the content we have. We have the host file, we have the Docker file, and we have the Ansible Docker images. Let me give a brief on that as well. Ansible. So what we did for the Ansible playbook, that we stop the container. If we have any running container in the environment, it will throw an exception. So we are ignoring that as well. If we don't have any container running and we are stopping the container, that doesn't make sense, and the system will raise an exception. So better to ignore that. And if we have any container, then it will going to stop it. Similar for the removal of the containers. If we have any, it will remove it. If we don't have, it will just ignore that particular exception. So the command will not get failed. Removing the images, so we are going to remove it as well. After that, we are going to build it. Okay, so what it particular command will do, it will change the directory to the opt docker. Okay, we are in the same directory currently. So opt docker, we are in the same directory where we have already the Docker file. Okay, and it will create a image. The name of the image is Ansible Docker image. It will build an image, and it will create a Docker container with the name Ansible Docker container, and this is the IP of the host and container with using the Ansible Docker image. So I think all the things are clear to you guys. So let's clear the screen again. Okay, Docker, first check either Docker is running or not, because when you stop the instance, the Docker will automatically shut down. So this is the command, service Docker status. So this will command will guide you that either Docker service is running or not. If service is not running, you can use this command, service Docker start, to start it. In my case, it's already running, so nothing to I have to do it. Let's clear it again. So let's check either we have any Docker container running or stop in the stop state. So we don't have any. We have any images, Docker images. So we don't have any. So it means that I already removed all the things after doing the previous video. So we have to execute the Ansible playbook again, so that we have the container, okay, and the images already available. Then we are going to tag it, and then we will try to push it into the Docker Hub. So I'm going to run the similar Ansible playbook again. Ansible playbook -i and the host. I'm going to do it in the local host only, not on the target machine, the Docker host. That I will do later. Ansible playbook, the name of the Ansible playbook. Okay, I'm going to execute it. So you can see that the container didn't exist. Okay, so it's can't able to stop it, so it's ignoring. Otherwise, if you don't pass the ignore flag, then it will going to kill yeah, or it will get failed. So in my case, it's not getting failed. It's have the successful message. Okay, so it currently it's going to do for all that, like removing the container. It's not able to find the container, then it's ignoring that message as well. Removing the images, we don't have any images, so it's ignoring again. And now why it's taking time? Because it's fetching, pulling the images, the base images of Tomcat on that particular images, because we have Tomcat images we are using as a base in the Docker file. So it's fetching all the informations, and we have currently the success flag. So Docker ps, we have the running container. If we have the running container right now, then we definitely have the all the images. Better we can check it. Okay, so you can see that this is the image. Okay, let me clear and let me zoom it a little bit more. Docker images. So we have this Tomcat base image. On that particular base image, using that base image, we build a customized, you can say, the Ansible Docker images, that by running the Ansible playbook. Okay, till that this point, I think all the things are clear to you guys. Okay, so now we want to push the image to the Docker Hub account, and we need to tag our image with the prefix of our account. So tagging is very important. Otherwise, the Docker Hub will not understand in which particular account this particular image will going to move. Okay, so I am going to tag it. Docker tag Ansible image. Okay, this is the name of my image. I am going to tag it by again writing the Ansible, but I'm going to remove it this one and writing it Java with you. Okay, so this is my account name, and all the images will go to this particular account. Okay, because if you see, this is my account name Java with you. Okay, so for it will ask for definitely for the authentications, because it not able to understand if I have to pass the user name, the account name, and the password to have a connectivity. Okay, so then it will going to move. So currently, for a demo purpose, I am going to show you that how I'm going to tag it, and when we push it, how it's going to fail if you don't pass any informations. So let's execute this command. Okay, tagging is done. Docker images. So you can find that we have another images. Okay, so we have this is the base image. On the base image, we have one customized image, and this is the tag image of this particular images. Okay, you got all the things, because we can't move this particular image to the Docker Hub because we didn't tag it. So we tagged it, so it will a replica, you can say, with the tag. jha with you is the tag, the account name, so that the Docker Hub will understand and move that particular image to the appropriate account. Okay. Now I am going to push it. For the demo, I am just showing you that how the error message will throw. Docker push. Okay, so this is the command. I am going to push it. So you can see that it's preparing, but as soon as we don't be provided any credential informations, the access is denied. So we can't push it, so that we first use to log in into the Docker Hub account. So let's clear the screen. Okay, so now I'm going to write Docker login. So I am from this particular server, I am going to log in into the Docker Hub, asking the account password. So you can see that the login is successful. Now I'm going to push it. I'm just going to execute the similar command again. Okay. So you can see that it's starting pushing my particular tagged image to the Docker Hub. And when we have a successful message, we can see into the Docker Hub, and we can find that particular image into the Docker Hub. So we are waiting for the successful message, and we have the successful message right now. And now we are going to the Docker Hub to see either we have that particular image available or not. So guys, you can see that a few seconds ago, we pushed our image, Ansible Docker image, into the jha with you account, adding the jha with you tongue. So you can see that we have the images available here. So we have some messages like what we need to do to push or to add that particular fetch that particular image if we required. So you can see that all the things are working perfectly fine. We build our image, and when we tagged it and log in it with the Docker Hub, and then push it to the Docker Hub. So you can see that all the things are perfectly fine, and we have the proper images into the Docker Hub. Okay, so now we are going to the Docker machines. Okay, so before that we have to see that what is the available. We have any available things into the Docker, because we pushed it through the Ansible, but the deployment we have to do into the Docker. So we are going to test it, either we can able to pull that particular image or not. So here we are going to see either we have any images. So we have the images here. So what I am going to do, I am going to remove Docker Tomcat images. It's older images. So first we have to check either we have any container, because in case we have any container running. So you can see that we have a container, but it exited. Let me remove that one. Docker RM, name of the container. This is just to have a better clarity. That's why I am removing unnecessary things. Okay, Docker ps -a. We don't have any Docker RMI, and we are going to remove this as well. Okay, clear the screen. Okay, before fetching or pulling the images from the Docker Hub to the Docker server, I'm going to do it here as well. Docker images. I'm going to just remove this particular images. Okay, so we can see that we are able to fetch it or not. Docker RMI Docker images. We don't have that tag image. Now we are going to previously we push it. Now we are going to pull it. Okay, using the same command, I'm just going to update it. So you can see that we have the images right now. It's get pulled. So we are able to successfully push that image to the Docker Hub and successfully able to pull it again. Now we are in the Docker server, and here we are currently connected with the root. So let's switch to the ANS admin because we are doing all the things with this particular user ANS admin. Okay, so we are get connected to the ANS admin. Okay, so I'm going to see either this particular user is the part of the Docker group. No, it's not. So let's exit it. And now we are going to add this user. Okay, so user mod ag, adding into the group of Docker. Okay, this is the group. Which user? ANS admin. Okay, the user get added. Now I am going to again log in with the ANS admin. I got connected. Now I am using the id command, and you can see that this particular user is the part of this particular group as well. So now this is perfectly fine. Now Docker images, we have only the base images. Now we are going to pull it because we are connected with the same user, and we pushed the image previously with the same user. Docker pull, and what is the image name? Jha with you / Ansible Docker image. So it will going to push that image uh, into the Ansible system. So let's see, clear the screen, into the Docker server, sorry. So Docker. So you can see that we successfully able to pull that image. So you can see that we are successfully able to push the images to the Docker Hub and successfully able to push in both the server, Ansible server also and Docker server also. Because these things we need to test in the Docker server, it's required to test into Docker server also, because this is our target system. Currently we are doing all the stuff in the Ansible server itself, but we have to perform all the things, all the deployments. So whenever the Ansible playbook will trigger or do that deployment stuff using the Jenkins, then the Docker in the Docker where we have to do the deployment, it able to fetch the images from the Docker Hub. So we have to test it manually, either it's able to do it or not. So now if you want to create a container, you can create by using these images. So this will be perfectly fine. So it look everything's as per our plan, and we need to modify and also add one Ansible playbook, so that instead of running the command manually, uh, we can do it in an automated way. So in the next session, in the next video, we are going to create and modify our existing Ansible playbook to handle all this stuff. So in the next video, we are going to see those kind of stuff. So till then, goodbye. And if you like my channel, please subscribe to my channel and give a thumbs up, and share this channel link to your friends as well to have a better learning environment. So share it with your friends as well, and keep safe, keep learning. Thank you for watching this video.